Alright guys, this is gonna be my first like real in-depth lesson type video ever, so any critique or constructive criticism is appreciated. But today I'm gonna be trying to teach something that I wish I would have been able to learn early on when I started playing, and something that I've also noticed a lot of guitar players seem to have an issue with, and that's music theory. And I know it sounds like it can be really scary and kind of daunting thing to learn, but it's kind of like anything else in life. If you break it down into smaller parts and try to get each part solid and learn and digest it and then kind of piece it together, you eventually get it. It's kind of like if you're trying to learn a difficult passage or a fast passage of a song, break it down kind of like lick by lick, and you'll get it eventually. Lick by lick, clean it up, speed it up, put it all together, and you got your lick. So I guess I'll start by saying the good way to preface this is in Western music we have 12 notes, and I know that seems kind of crazy considering, I even find it crazy considering all of our music is made up of all these 12 notes, and they've been played in so many different ways and styles that it's pretty crazy just to think about that. But I think we'll start probably with like the most basic and simplest thing, in my opinion, that would be helpful. And this theory, I'm going to try to break it down more and like to stuff that you'd need to apply to guitar, more so than like classical theory and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess let's get started. We're gonna do intervals, and all an interval is just the distance between any two given notes, and this distance is measured in what we call half steps and whole steps, and that's what I'll be referring to them as in this video, but I've also heard them referred to as semitones and whole tones. But again, like I said, I'll be referring to them half steps and whole steps. So I guess best place to start would be the first one, which is on this I'm going to be playing in the key of C, because that's the easiest key signature, because there's no sharps or flats either way. And honestly, if this goes over well, I may try to do more theory videos if you guys want. But I'm going to start with this C note that's on the 8th fret on the low E string right here. First interval is called unison, and it can also be called tonic, but I'll probably refer to it as tonic because that's just easier. So tonic is just the exact same note. It doesn't move anywhere, so it would be the exact same note. And then we'll move up a half step to the next interval, and on a guitar a half step is nothing more than just one fret. So we're going to move to this from the 8th fret on the low E to the 9th fret on the low E, and this interval is called a minor second. It's like you saw, they're two very close notes, and because of that, when they're played together they clash really bad, and this clashiness is called dissonance. Dissonance is heard a lot, but I'll try to give you a good example. Here's the C note, and since I obviously can't play these two notes on the same string at the same time, I'm gonna play this C and this C sharp on the 4th fret on the A string together. It's a big stretch, so I wouldn't recommend trying this, but I'll let you hear what they sound like together. Pretty bad, and really the easiest way to remember the minor second is how bad it clashes and how close the two notes are. Now we're going to be moving up another half step or one whole step to a D, which will be the 10th fret on the low E. So from 8th to 10, so together they sort of clash, but not nearly as bad. Try to give you an example. I'll play this 5th fret on A and the 8th fret on the low E. You'll kind of hear that. The easiest way to remember this interval is the Happy Birthday song, the very beginning of it, would be, that is a major second. Now we're gonna move up another half step. So 3 half steps and we're at the minor third. And the minor third is a really important interval because it is the note in a chord, in a minor chord, that actually gives it that minor or sad quality to it. So from C, that would be an E flat, and that would be the 11th fret on the low E. So and I'll play those together and you should kind of get that minor chord feel. I'm going to play the E flat on the 6th fret of the low, or of the A string, and the C on the 8th fret like we have been doing on the low E. So now we're going to move up another half step to the major third, which is another obviously really important interval. This one you've heard a lot. It is the kind of like the minor, but it's the major third is the interval that defines a major chord, gives it the happy, kind of cheerful quality that major chords are known for. So from C, that would be an E. You should already be able to kind of hear that, but together I'm gonna play the E on the 7th fret on the A string along with the C that we've been playing the whole time, and you should be able to kind of get the major chord. Okay. Then we're gonna move up from the major third to the perfect fourth. It's a perfect interval because it has neither a major or minor quality. It can be played over a major or minor key, and they're the same in either. Perfect fourth, you hear a lot in like heavy music for like inverted power chords. So it'd be something kind of along the lines of a, you know, if we were doing C, it'd be like. That's your rock, but just the basic interval itself would be, you know, all you would need to do to play a fourth off of C is bar your first finger across the 8th fret of these 2 low strings. So there's your fourth. The guitar is actually tuned in fourths, like each of the strings are only are a perfect fourth apart, with the exception of the G and the B, which these 2 strings right here, the 2nd and 3rd strings, are tuned a third apart, major third, but that's not really important right now. And the perfect fourth, you've heard a lot if you've ever heard the Wedding March. That would be the 4th of C. Perfect fourth of C is going to be an F, which you could play at the 13th fret of the low E. So, or like I said, you can bar. And the Wedding March, you know, that's the easiest way I can remember that one. Moving up another half step, we move up to what's called the tritone. This is 6 half steps from the root note that we started on. And the tritone is a very dissonant interval, like the minor second, excuse me. And you hear this fairly often. It's by itself, it's kind of unpleasant, but when it's used in context of harmony, it can actually be nice to hear. So from C, that's going to be an F sharp, which you can play on the 14th fret of the E string. So I don't know if you can hear that, but I'll play them together. And that would be this C, the 8th fret on the low E, and the 9th fret on the A string. So together that would be very dissonant, but like I said, you hear that every now and then, and it can be a nice, add nice variety or color to harmony. Now moving up another half step, we get to the perfect fifth. And like the perfect fourth, it doesn't have a major or minor quality. And the fifth, most every guitar player plays at some point because it is the second note in a power chord. A power chord is just a root and a fifth. So for C, that would be a G note, which you can play the 15th fret on the low E, or you can play it on the 10th fret of the A, from so 8 and 10 right here. So separate, it would be. And together, it's, you know, power chord. Now, moving on from that, we get to the minor sixth. And this also kind of has a sort of sad quality, and actually is dissonant in its own right. Not quite as bad as a tritone, but this would be, see, the major sixth, the minor sixth is 8 half steps up from your root. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, I counted wrong, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Whatever. Minor sixth is actually 8, so it'd be G sharp or A flat, however you want to look at it, which would be the 16th fret on the low E. So I'm gonna play that, the C right here that we have been playing the whole time, and I'm gonna play the 11th fret on the A string. Together, separately, they'll sound like. Together, it would be. Then, if we move up another half step, we get the major sixth, which, again, being major, it's got that kind of happy sound to it. From C, that's going to be an A, just an A natural. So I'm going to play that on the 12th fret on the A string, just to make it easy. So separate, they would sound like. And together. And you've heard this if you've ever watched the TV channel NBC, because they're the jingle that they have for that channel, that first interval is a major sixth. It'd be like yeah, so I'm sure you've heard that before. Moving up from the major sixth, we're almost there. We get the major seventh, or minor seventh, minor. And this is starting to get really close to the octave, so it starts getting a little more clashy or dissonant. From C, that's going to be a B flat, so that is the 13th fret on the A string. You know, the root again being on the 8th fret on the low E. So separate, they would sound like. Step up, which is the major 7. So from C, that's going to be this B note, which is the 14th fret on the A string. So 8 on the low E, 14 on the A, and to get separately, these notes are going to be. This is also a very dissonant note because of how close it is to the octave. So I'll play them together so you can get that. Now we're finally to the last basic interval, which is the octave. And the octave is just the same note, but once you get to the 12 half steps up, you're back to the same note. It's just higher. So I'll play that together, C, and then I'm gonna play this C, which is the 10th fret on the D string, because it's just the easiest way to do it. So separately. So together. Just wanted to say I really hope the video kind of helped you guys out. And if it goes over kind of well, I really would like to try to make maybe a whole little series about theory and how you can apply it to the guitar. Leave any comments or whatever down in the section, and let me know what you guys think. Thanks.